Here, basically, it's going about the brakes. How to look at them and tell when you're doing your PMI inspection. Now they have little tools. Basically, you could insert it. These don't have the sleeves, but they do have like little indicators and stuff. I don't see them on this one here, but you can measure them out. You know, get them going and make sure that they're not too worn. You don't want them having real worn. DOT only allows brake pads to go down to a certain spec, and if you go beyond that, then an accident happens. It's a pretty bad day. But one of the things I want to talk about most here is how the air brakes are. Basically, if you look up there, you're gonna see the air chamber. All right, you get the S cam right up here, stuff. Now you're gonna have that rod. You get right up in there. That right there, basically, that applies your brakes. What's gonna happen is that is gonna move, but it can only move and be set for a certain distance. The travel of the rod depends on the chamber itself, and regulations set down by DOT for your state or federal laws and stuff. So anyway, come back here. If you look, this here is your adjustment nut. Now, the rule of thumb that I've learned is you tighten it. Well, first I measure the slack and make sure the slack adjuster and everything's good. You don't want to have it out of spec. You have to set the thing. Basically, you're going to turn around. We'll get over here and see how that is. You're going to take and basically release your parking brake. If you have somebody hit the brakes for you, and let me get back here. This rod will move right here. It moves out. Right? You hit the brakes, it moves in, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, if it moves too much, or it has, then you got to set it. And that's where this nut comes into play. Tighten it down, all the way down, a quarter turn back off. Normally, most chambers, but it also depends on your chamber. See, if you look up here, all those tells you. Now, one of the things you don't want to have is you don't want to have a long stroke and a short stroke on the same axle. By doing that, it will actually cause your brakes to malfunction. They will not work right. I dealt with this thing one time before when I was new into messing with the brakes. I didn't notice to look at the brake chamber. Here's your rod. Now when you release it, this will move out. And now you can measure basically by from here to here. All right, they use a center point when you're measuring out. So, but this nut here, tighten it all the way down, back it off a quarter turn. That's a lot of the guys in the business done. Cage bolts, real quick. You ever got to change these things? Goes in the back. 9 times out of 10, they don't. We put them back in there. But you can see this rod here. So, but also when you're doing your PMI inspections, check your air hoses. Listen, look, listen, and feel for air leaks. Most of the time you hear the hiss. When you're doing your PMI, you get them all built up in the cab. You know, when you got your stuff, all your air built up in your chambers and everything. Long story short, your air pressure built up. You'll hear it, but you want to listen for it. Try and track it down. Air leaks are bad. Check your valves. Make sure everything's good. These hoses out here, you don't want no leaks. So, but the main thing is make sure that you check the pads. Let me go back here and show you this right quick. These actually have them. See the little groove? Now some of them have little indicators. They go by this, but they make a handy little tool. It's like it looks like almost like a Christmas tree. It's flat on one side and rivet on the other. You slide it right in there. All right, and it tells you, so many 30 seconds. And if it's below a certain one, you're going to basically change it. Here's another one. See, just pop the little tool right in there. Don't have one available right now to show you. It's doing a quick bit. So, and it tells you if it's below the DOT spec, you're changing it, which is kind of not fun. These are big, heavy suckers, so. But they had to be done. Safety's there's another one there. And you got them up on top as well. I don't know if you can see it, but the pad's on top. Or the shoes, excuse me, they're up on top. So check that. Always pay attention. Somebody's life's at stake. Come on back and stay tuned. We'll have more PMI videos coming way.